imagine a criminal who killed his mother brutally and then became the highest-rated chess champion. This is the story of one and only Claude Bloodgood. Could you believe no one dared to play chess with that guy? He was so bold that his name was deleted from the record books, creating a huge vacancy in chess history. But the real story of a prisoner becoming a chess champion isn't revealed. Let's uncover it in this video. Well, firstly, let's see who Claude Bloodgood was. The year and place of Bloodgood's birth have long been debated, but that should not detract from his extraordinary life tale. He claims to have been born in Mexico to German parents in 1924. In fact, he was probably born in Virginia in 1937. He was a good scam artist, and he clearly gained pleasure from deceiving people. If he had been born in the late 1930s, Bloodgood's stories of spying for Nazi Germany during World War II and escaping a torpedoed submarine off the coast of the United States to live in Virginia would have little credibility. Julian Borger, a Guardian journalist who met Bloodgood in 1999, shortly before his death, believes he spent a lot of time investigating historical facts in order to persuade others to believe his strange stories. He'd include obscure information in his accounts about Yugoslav resistance commanders, for example, which was genuinely astounding. Well, the question is, were Claude Bloodgood's stories real? You will not believe the stories about Bloodgood and his passion for chess. He'd tell stories about fighting Heinrich Himmler and other high-ranking Nazis throughout the war. Then, after becoming a US citizen post-war, he claimed to have faced Humphrey Bogart, Charlie Chaplin, and even Albert Einstein. What's incredible is that he scrupulously documented every move and eccentricity of his opponents. And get this, the descriptions were so close to the real characters that Bogart's biographer believed they could have played together. Isn't that something? Well, only history at that time knows the real story, but here's how his mysterious time started. When Claude Bloodgood played with the most famous people at that time. As the mid-1960s approached, rumors circulated about Bloodgood's affair with Hollywood starlet Katherine Grayson, adding a touch of intrigue to his already vibrant reputation. Despite the glamorous allure of his celebrity encounters, there is a shadow lurking behind the scenes. He changed everyone's perception of him after an encounter with the law that stained his reputation forever. With each flick of the chess piece, Bloodgood skated on the brink of the law, his exploits straddling the line between genius and infamy. Despite his renown, he couldn't escape the shadows he created. Burglary, forgery, his criminal record rose, a monument to his reckless quest for money. Even familial relationships could not prevent his plunge into darkness. Betrayed loomed enormously when his own mother, driven to desperation, testified against him. In a terrifying twist of fate, Bloodgood's rage knew no bounds as he issued a tragic threat to her life. The final disaster occurred in 1969, a horrific act of violence that shattered the illusion of elegance. With a chilly heart and crimson hands, Bloodgood sealed his fate as a murderer. However, even prison bars could not contain his crafty nature. A bold escape in 1974 disguised as a chess tournament provided him with a brief period of freedom, demonstrating his unbreakable spirit. Now join us as we explore the riveting story of Bloodgood, a man whose life was a maze of brilliance and betrayal, with every move bearing the weight of fate. Claude Bloodgood is in prison. Can you believe it? Well, he's just relaxing in prison, perhaps counting the days. Isn't it strange to think about what brought him there? But hey, that's how life goes sometimes. Bloodgood's unstable disposition clearly concealed a bright intellect. He would utilize it behind bars to pursue his two main interests, complex stories from his background in chess. He informed Borger, a skeptical journalist, that he could not recall any of his German, but one of his jailers insisted that Bloodgood could speak the language clearly and with a native accent. It was chess that would bring him world fame. Ironically, with an exaggeration he had no role in designing. Bloodgood's convincingly delivered stories of espionage and celebrity ties must have gotten him a lot of attention in prison. However, it was his chess that would gain him worldwide fame, albeit with an exaggeration that he had no part in creating. Chess has long been a popular activity among prison inmates. Bloodgood now possessed a pool of opponents with less knowledge and expertise in the game than him, as well as an unlimited amount of time. Chess's ranking system assigns scores to thousands of players worldwide, based on a basic principle. When you win a game, your score goes up. When you lose, it goes down. If your score rises significantly, It is assumed that you will face competitors with comparable rankings, making it more difficult to win and continue to climb. Bloodgood was by far the best chess player in the US prison, winning a large number of games and not being allowed to challenge opponents of comparable ability. As a result, his ranking skyrocketed, and in 1996, he was officially named the country's second best player. His greatest rating was more than 2,700 points, which fewer than 100 chess players had ever achieved at the time. Don Wedding, a mathematician who befriended Bloodgood in his later years before his death in 2001, claims the murderer would tell him over the phone to notify chess officials and implore them to change the rating standards that overrated him. The issue only came to their attention after Bloodgood began to rank among the international elite, but they removed his name from their ranking list, claiming that he had essentially rigged the system. This guy had some serious skills on the chessboard. It's like he had a magic touch or something. And the question of how good Bloodgood really was at chess is as mysterious as the rest of his life. His rank didn't quite put him at the top of the world's elite, but it was clear that he wasn't too far behind. From prison, he wrote 3 books about how to start a chess game. He was famous for an opening move he called the prisoner's gambit. In 2021, current world champion Magnus Carlsen used it to trick an opponent. By working hard at chess, Bloodgood left behind a legacy that is stronger than memories of his violent crimes and crazy life tales. Bloodgood was such a chess werewolf, but apart from this, he was a normal human being. He also had emotions and wanted to get out of jail. Let's see what he wants from his final days. Bloodgood's health was getting worse, and he played chess less often. He became obsessed with getting out of jail, and he often set up and gave interviews in which he made a lot of false claims to try to get the trial system to drop the charges against him. To begin, he said that he was born 13 years earlier than the records showed, which meant that he was old enough to get a break. He also said that he was born to German parents who were living in Mexico at the time, and demanded to be sent back to either Mexico or Germany. Also, he said that he was born in 1924, which meant that he was old enough to have been a secret Nazi spy during World War II. He also said that he had been married to American opera singer and actress Katherine Grayson for a few weeks after the war. In his later years, when his mental health was questionable, Bobby Fischer himself could not have said more ridiculous and unbelievable things. Claude Frizzle Bloodgood died on August 4th, 2001 from lung cancer. He was still trying as hard as he could at that point to get out of jail, even though he knew it was impossible. That same year he died, as did Bobby Fischer. He was 64 years old. So that's it for today's video. That's the amazing story of Claude Bloodgood, from being a criminal to a chess hero. Subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Also hit the bell icon for the latest updates.